At the farm, the recruits break into the NSA on a mission to delete all their personal information, but the rogue group within the CIA has other plans. In the future, the hostages strategize and escape via underground tunnels as a setup to get the terrorists to reveal themselves. Season 2, Episode 12 of Quantico starts right now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV's Quantico After Show. I'm your host, Drexel Heard. You can follow me on Twitter at Drexel Heard. Welcome back to my panel.
Hey guys, I'm Timothy Michael. You can reach me on all social media platforms at I am Timothy Mike. And to my left,
hey guys, I'm Renee Ariel, and you can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at Renee Ariel.
Be sure to follow AFTERBUZZ TV at AFTERBUZZ TV and use the hashtag ABTVQuantico on Twitter and all social media to have a conversation with us and leave your comments below. Season 2, Episode 12, Fallen Oracle, Alicia Keys' Fallen, because there was a lot of love falling in and out things happening in this episode.
and in honor of Valentine's Day yesterday.
And
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
And happy belated birthday to you.
Thank you. It was
Happy
2 days
Birthday
ago.
was yesterday, 2 days ago. So what'd you guys think of the episode?
I actually like this episode. I said last week that episode was a little confusing, and I felt like this episode brought back some more answers. A lot more answers than the 2 episodes ago, where I had said, oh, we got some answers to questions, but that only led to more questions. And in this one, I felt like we actually got some real answers.
Yes, I definitely agree with that, and I liked that. This is probably one of the first episodes that in the present day this season, I was like very intrigued the whole time. Like I really liked to see what was happening, what was going on. Like there's terrorists in the group. Like it was really fun and kept me on the edge of my seat. So it was a good episode.
Maybe the at Quantico writers on Twitter heard what we said and
Right.
just reshot the whole episode.
Because we have that much influence, you guys.
They're confused.
Right.
They're confused. Okay, so Fallen Oracle is actually a cryptonym, like we always talk about. Cryptonyms are the titles of every episode of this season so far of the NSA catalog database, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So let's start with, because, you know, this past present thing, it's a little crazy sometimes. Let's just start with the past, because we always start with the challenges. The mini challenge, Harry was a pickpocketer, which reminded me of, because he's British, it reminded me a little bit of The Artful Dodger and Oliver. So I kept thinking, like, is that what they learn in the United Kingdom, is how to pickpocket people?
Oh, gosh.
Because Harry was teaching everybody how to pickpocket, which I thought was really fun. And then they use that in the mini challenge. They go in the bar to try to pickpocket other people in the bar. Have you guys ever needed to, like, quickly take something out of somebody's pocket without them knowing?
No.
Yeah, no, I'm a really bad liar, and I'm a really bad klepto, apparently. So no, I think this more had to do with less stealing.
You think you're a bad
things.
klepto?
Yeah, bad klepto, like a kleptomaniac, you know, person.
I know,
steals
you're
everything.
a klepto?
No, I said a really bad one. I would be a really bad one.
I thought you said I'm a really bad klepto. I'm like, are you
That I wouldn't
admitting
be a
this?
klepto, Renee.
You better watch your pockets if you're next to this one.
Right. No, I felt like it was less to do with about stealing things and more to do about the sleight of hand.
Well, yes, I meant that.
Yeah,
Like,
in order to get what
is
you
there
want.
a sleight of hand
Yeah.
situation?
No, I don't think I've never.
No.
Yeah.
That was bad though.
People used to because I'm always on my phone. So when I used to work in New York, people would like try to like take my phone without me knowing. And then one time somebody took my phone and then it was gone. Like gone.
Like
They-
gone,
like
you didn't-
gone,
like
like
you didn't
gone,
return
girl
it?
Like,
gone.
no, they didn't return it.
Oh man.
I know. So, so I thought that was a really cool challenge. Do not pickpocket people, because you will get caught.
I
In
would.
2017,
They took so much stuff.
They did.
They took everybody's
There was like a
stuff.
bucket full of stuff.
Is that what happens in the CIA? Like if you're at a bar nearby where they're training, they're just going to take your wallet and all your belongings?
Right, like I thought
Did
you
they
were supposed
return
to. I
it?
thought you were supposed to protect me, not like
Right?
make my life harder.
Although I will say this, I thought that this mini challenge should have been one of the first things we saw
Like of the season?
of the season, because it seems so simple.
Yeah.
To where everything else you're like, why would they go? Like, but then again, it's always like those quizzes that you take. That's like the really easy quiz. You're like, oh my goodness, why do I have at the beginning of like my semester, like, you know, what do they call those things where you have to type everything, you have to write everything out, like a pair, like a, you know, I don't know. And
What?
then you end up like when you take a test and you have to like
Show your work.
well, you should not show your
Show
work,
your
but you have to like
work? Oh, yeah.
write like a paragraph, or you have to like write everything.
an
out.
essay?
Like an essay.
like a
like
short
an essay, like a
answer.
short answer.
Okay.
Oh, it's a short answer. It's been a long time. But clearly.
School.
Thank you. Who
does that anymore?
Oh my gosh. So the short answer, and then you go to like some multiple choice test or something like that are really hard. Like they should have like switched those up.
I don't know. I disagree with you. I felt like and they always kind of make the mini challenge something to do with the episode, but I felt like this mini challenge had a lot to do with the episode. Like it was like a recurring theme throughout the entire episode.
They did, but they
misdirection.
But they didn't really use the. I mean, I guess it was to teach them misdirection, but like they didn't really use the pickpocketing aspect of it in the main challenge.
I think you're putting too much emphasis on the pickpocketing and more of the misdirection of using misdirection to pickpocket. That was the point of the mini challenge to
Right.
me.
Yeah, I just can't get over the fact that they were pickpocketing people. Like, I couldn't let that go. When I saw the bucket of just, like, all of the stuff that they took, all I kept thinking is, like, what about that girl's pepper spray?
As
What
they
about
said
that girl's
in-
wallet?
Right, and like, are they going to get it back?
Right?
That's
Like, when
what
do
I
they
was-
return them? Like, thanks, this was just for, like, school. Here you go.
I thought at the end of the challenge, like in the bar, they were gonna be like at the end of it, be like, "Oh, you dropped this." Just show what they stole, and then at
Right.
the end, be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you dropped this."
Right.
or
But-
sneak it back. Sneak it back to
Oh,
them.
that would have been even better.
Yeah.
Sneaking
That
it back.
should have been this far
should have been the
along.
challenge,
To give
yeah.
it back. That would have been good.
Yeah, so Harry was definitely Fagin from Oliver. He was definitely picking a pocket or two. So the main challenge was to get into the NSA building, break in, and get out without them knowing, to remove their digital footprints of everybody in on the farm,
Yes.
which I thought was really cool. But at the same time, Lydia comes back.
Yay!
Like she just waltzes in. Like Lydia like how did you guys feel when Lydia came back in? Because I thought it was like I would have been like, what is happening?
Like, what are you
None of the
doing
recruit.
here?
I mean, obviously, half of the recruits that we know knew that Lydia was there. Mm-hmm. I thought it was really weird that Owen said, "Oh, Lydia landed back in town," but they knew that Lydia was recruiting these people and that she might be in the vicinity. So I thought that was really weird.
But that was the whole thing about the misdirection, is that they have to misdirect Lydia to think that they don't know what she's actually doing. And I did think that was a little weird, because they said that Lydia touched down in Andrews, which I'm guessing is an airport. Is that an airport in Virginia?
Probably Dulles.
Oh,
Probably,
okay.
Probably a
Okay, and then it said that she
Reagan.
wants to see Owen, but I didn't think she was gonna roll up during the mission. I thought they were
I
gonna go have dinner or something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Apparently not. No father-daughter time.
Yeah. that
Yeah,
was weird.
and so.
But then her motives became very clear.
Yes. However, what I thought was really cool was that they did, she was giving direction at the same time he was giving direction, but they were giving direction to two different groups in the same room, and I thought that was really cool.
I actually like
Yeah.
that. It kind of brought me back to the last episode when they were doing the whole mock missions where they were all getting caught. And they were doing that like cinematography, like we commented on the cinematography being like they were going through the missions and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I felt like they were kind of playing with that a little bit in this one when, Lydia was talking and then he was talking, but then they were overlapping each other. Like if you get caught, you go to jail. Like
Right.
it's like,
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, so their direction, the only in sync direction from both sides, even though they were giving different direction, was to tap the NSA, but tapping the NSA for two very different reasons. The AIC wanted something within the NSA, and Alex says, what does the AIC want within the NSA? Did you guys was that clear to you guys what the AIC wanted?
The AIC wanted to have access to every email on the Eastern Seaboard that the NSA has access to, which I really liked this episode just because the main challenge and the mini challenge, like I said earlier, were linked, and then this mission was like a mission in a mission, which I thought was super cool. I feel like that they should have touched on this a lot earlier to bring more people in and be more passionate about it, because I really enjoyed seeing Lydia step up instead of having her gone for 5 episodes or however long she's been gone. I feel like they could have been doing this.
Well, Lydia's kind of been there. She just hasn't been on the farm.
Right, but I like
Yeah.
seeing her there. I mean, and I have never been like a fan of Lydia, but after
yeah,
this
I've never been a
episode,
fan
I'm
of
like,
Lydia's voice.
okay, well, we know.
we know.
Like that's how she is, and I'm like, what is that? I did that
did
impression
notice
better
that
than I did last
today.
week.
You did.
Also, I would like to go back to last week when we talked about who Diana was on the phone with. because Tim tried to pretend like it was
Miranda,
and I said no. I think it was Lydia.
Hey,
I said it was Lydia
yes,
too.
you
Yeah.
guys were right. Congratulations. I had a theory. I was trying to be devil's advocate. Thank you.
I think it's
I
Miranda.
just wanted everybody to
Do my impression
understand.
again?
I think it was Miranda.
Oh my gosh! I
heard
want to
it.
shout out to folks in the chat room. Mev said, and we'll talk about Diana in a little bit. Is Diana an old guy? He's talking about the original guy who actually recruited Alex, which we have not seen yet.
Yeah.
But they just don't bring in characters. I don't know, because like we always talk about, they drop off things at the end, and you're like, well, what happened to this person? What happened to this one? What happened to the person that jumped out of the window at the beginning of this season?
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Like we
Yeah.
still got to bring that person
Yeah.
back in. So there's like so much happening. Is he Diana's
Look at
stepfather? That's a really interesting.
That's a good theory.
That's a good theory.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get more backstory, even more backstory on Diana's family soon. So one thing I thought about I just want to bring up in the pickpocket challenge is that Sebastian, nobody else brought anybody from the outside into this challenge. Like Leon didn't bring in Shelby, but Sebastian brought in Carly into this situation where
Yeah.
they were trying to train, and I thought that was a little reckless.
Well, yeah.
Because like,
it
why would you
was.
pickpocket somebody that you know?
I mean, I think overall the writers were just trying to bring her in to make her more of a presence because of the role that she had later on in the episode.
Which is fine.
Yeah, but I just felt like it was. I agree with you guys. I felt like it was a little overdone. Like, okay, we get it. Something's like they were like, pay attention to her, pay attention to her, pay attention to her, and it's like, okay, but she shouldn't be there in the first place.
Right.
Yeah,
I almost
seriously.
feel like I would have preferred Carly's story over Leon and Shelby's story. You know what I mean? Like, I would have preferred to see more of that if Carly's role would have
I
been...
so agree. Like this episode, you mean, or just in
or just in general. If
Yeah.
Carly's role was as big as it was, then Shelby should have just been kind of... Like, we already know Shelby.
Yeah, that's
Shelby's
true.
already doing her role. But to have Carly just kind of pop in and then pop off and then pop out...
She's like, I
that's
drove
weird to me.
2.5 hours just to be here. I'm happy to be
and
here.
then she just got there to get pickpocketed.
Right. That's what I said. I wrote that down.
Like, that was a little
really-
weird to me. But going back to Diana, because Mev brought it up, Alex and Owen at the beginning of the episode were going through emails, and this was a Diana heavy episode and a Harry heavy episode. Diana, we have seen be fiercely loyal to whoever she's got her blinders on. She's not deviating from whatever mission she thinks she is. Why do you think Diana is so adamant about fitting in? Like, why can't she just fit in with her team that she has been training with, but she's trusting this side? Where do you think that in her storyline that we've seen Diana so far, where do you think that's coming from?
I mean, this goes back to what you had said about, you know, Shelby and Leon's story, that you don't really prefer them. You prefer more of Carly's story. I feel like with, you know, Diana's story, it's like when we saw her in the beginning of the season, she had this vulnerable, we didn't think that she was going to make it through the farm because she was a little weak. And then all of a sudden her character took this turn, and maybe people in the chat can maybe clarify a little bit for me or give me your thoughts of when that turn took place. But it's a little unclear to me when she started being this hardcore, like, we are recruited and this is what we're doing and no
Right.
questions asked. Like,
Nobody else is like that, though.
right. That's
Not even Leah. And Leah's name has come up so many times, and we saw her in this episode in the circle. Like, we just get brief glimpses of her in the past, but she has no role in this anymore.
Who?
Leah.
Who's Leah?
Leah. You remember Leah, the lawyer with the kid?
Lee?
Lee, yes.
Lee.
Yes.
Oh.
Lee, I'm
was like-
Leah.
it was like-
Leah.
Lee,
We
yes.
have not
I mean,
seen
there's
Lee
only
at all.
something Leah, basically the same thing.
But like she like is completely cut off.
She's like, but they keep naming her, but she's like,
But she's not like when was the last time we actually saw her?
When she got killed.
yeah.
Remember?
But
When
we
they figured
also
out that-
saw her in this episode when Lydia was giving instruction about what to do with NSA. Like, she was there.
Oh, was she? I
Yeah,
hadn't even
it's just
seen
like
her.
again, it's one of those situations where they bring in somebody and then they don't use them enough, and then you're like, well, why did you introduce us to them in the first place? Like,
Yeah.
why did you give us their backstory if you were just gonna like kill them
them
or
off
whatever,
and-
or just use them as like another body in the storyline? Like, that doesn't really.
But I think the reason why they do that is because they're trying to keep us on our toes with
Mm-hmm.
like who's guilty of whatever. Because if we have such a small group of people and like those are all the characters that are going to play a big role in this season, it'll be obvious to guess who's like behind this and who's behind that and who's in this terrorist group and who's in that terrorist group and who's behind the creepy room that's been stalking everyone, the person that's been stalking people at the end.
Right.
That's what I was going to say, actually, with Deanna. I think she might have to do with that. I think she has an alternative motive, even more so than with the AIC. I think there's something else there. I think she's another reason.
And Zach brought that up in the chat room. He said, based on the end of the episode, seems like Deanna is working on something larger than the AIC CIA.
Yeah, I agree with that, because she's so like weird about the AIC. She's so like, yep, I'll do whatever it takes. We're gonna shut down this guy.
That's what I'm saying. There's nothing in her storyline that we've seen so far that indicates that she needs validation that she is doing right.
Yeah.
But it seems like she is. Like, so I want to know what her past is like. But at the end of this episode, I know we're skipping ahead, but I know at the end of this episode, it seems like Deanna is like a red herring, because now it's like all eyes on Deanna.
But they always do that, and that's what. Because I really like this episode, but then I feel like next episode they're gonna throw us on our asses again, because it's like we found out that she's not part of the IIC, she's not part of the CIA, she's not part of the Citizens Liberation Front. So there's another group inside of these three groups that she's a part of, that she's doing.
Right.
That's what I think. That's what they're alluding to, and I'm like, well, what could that possibly be?
If it's even another, I don't even know. It's so it's confusing. It's
right,
confusing.
I know.
Like, we're not sure what exactly is, because they keep on introducing like another group, like it's another layer.
Right.
It's another piece of the puzzle, and this piece we literally have no idea anything about. We don't know who's in it. We don't know what it's about. We just know they have like a room with all these pictures.
Room where it happens. So
people.
We've got Leon and Shelby. We talked about. We've got Leon and Deanna and their kind of relationship, because Deanna ends up sabotaging him in the main challenge. Which, how did he not catch that? Like, what kind of investigative journalist does not go back and check their work?
I thought he was going to figure out when he looked back at it. Like, I was like, he's got this, because he knows.
But when she pulled it off, it was like hanging.
But I mean, I kind of believe Leon's, storyline, because he hasn't been in this for a while. Like, he's been trying to find a way out of AIC because it's conflicting with his morals or whatever his character development story is right now. So it was believable to me that he didn't see it, because I don't think he was really looking for it. He really didn't want to do this mission in the first place. So I could see why he would have missed it.
Right, but he went through the whole he went through the whole routine of doing it right.
Yeah.
And then she pulls it out so that he could get caught. So why wouldn't he go back and check the work that he just already did? So even if he didn't want to do it, he wouldn't have done it right. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. I think, especially when you have to be so like detail oriented with those kind of missions, wouldn't you check back?
Check your work.
Especially when you're not even looking at what she's doing. Like, you trust her that much.
Why would you turn your back?
Right?
That was weird to me.
Was this the whole time with the flashlight?
Because, like, as if somebody was going to come in. Like, we get it.
Dude.
What I do want to bring up, sorry, really quick, about Leon, Diana, and Shelby, I feel like I think there's going to be like a love triangle in there, because Leon feels so betrayed by Shelby and what she did to him, that he's now starting to feel some way about Diana.
But I don't think that he feels betrayed by Shelby having had conversations with Nima. Having had conversation with Nima.
Never Raina.
It's never Raina.
It hasn't been Raina all season.
But you know what I mean? Like, but they've had those conversations. So I think that having those conversations is kind of putting him at a peace of mind, because at the end of the day, like, he gets it. But he might not like it, but at least somebody that's not Shelby is explaining it to him.
I don't know. I disagree, just based on the present and what happened when in the last episode when he had tried to cover for Diana, and he was almost killed for it. So I really think that somewhere in the last 8 months, I think him and Diana have something. And we can go to predictions later on in that, and I'll bring it up again. But
yeah, well, they did hint at that when wasn't Lydia asking, like, what did she ask about her and Leon? She asked something like if there's like feelings there or something. Yeah. But that's kind of hinting at that there are some feelings.
Right. Speaking of feelings, there was a really great episode. Russell Tovey's character Harry, Doyle, and Sebastian. And this is where we really get the full story of what happened to Elliot. Because all this time we never really got why Harry was so obsessed with Sebastian, and come to find out that he does not want Sebastian to fall into the same trap that Elliot did with his personal life. What did you guys think of that scene?
This was like a 180-degree turn for me, because I was so annoyed, and I voiced it very vocally on this season, the Sebastian Harry storyline just annoyed me so much until this episode, where it was really put in perspective for me, and it really hit a deeper level for me, just knowing that the entire time Harry just wanted to protect Sebastian,
right,
and he didn't want him to end up like Elliot did.
Yeah.
And I just thought that, and it's just so prevalent, just to go on a deeper level really quick with our viewers and everything, just, in terms of, in the gay community, there's a lot of people who feel like they can't be who they are because of, social, just fear of people going against them or whatever it is. And so they go and do this other life, and it's like not who they are, and then the only people that suffer in the end is them. And I feel like it was great that the writers threw that in there after all the annoyance that they caused us with this storyline.
Right.
Yeah.
What did you think, Renee?
No, I agree with that. It was such a heartbreaking scene, but I really enjoyed seeing that moment between them, because everything kind of clicked with Elliot and Sebastian, because I agree with you, this whole time it has been a bit frustrating. You're like, why are you still trying this
Why
at
are you so
all?
obsessed?
Why are you
Right.
like wanting to be his friend? Why do you care so much? Like, what is your motive? But this actually did put it into perspective and let the audience in on why Harry has been trying to keep this friendship, or trying to like be there.
But why? But then, okay, so then they have this conversation. Sebastian goes back to talk to Carly, then gets mad at Harry again for nothing. Harry was like, okay, you talk to her, I hope it works out for you. And then Sebastian goes like crazy again.
Because
Crazy.
Because I honestly feel like Sebastian went to Carly and was hoping maybe underneath it all that she would break up with him, and then that would give Sebastian more of a reason just to be with Harry. But that didn't happen, so he was taking that frustration out on Harry.
That's
Right.
not just frustration.
Right.
Oh,
It's choking.
well, yeah.
Although I mean, and when you catch little things and you're like, that's got something to do with whatever. Like there was a cut shot of the laptop that fell on the floor. I don't know if anybody caught that.
Yes.
But like, why
the
would you
headphones.
do a cut shot of that if it wasn't important to the story? Like, is it broken? Because Harry was listening to the NSA tap of
Bishop,
what's his name?
Lawrence
Lawrence
Bishop.
Bishop, who was Elliot's father. He didn't get the information that he wanted, but like, why give us that shot if it didn't mean something? Maybe it does. Maybe it's just because I'm reading it. Because we watch shows like this so much, and you're like,
We're like, what does that
you're
mean?
like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Give us
I don't
something.
know.
Yeah.
So I want to know what it means. I want to know. But yeah, I mean, the Sebastian Harry thing, hopefully we got a little bit of closure to that, because there's not that many episodes left.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got about 2 months left, so probably about 8 more episodes left before May, before the season finale. So there's not much that we can do with that, unless we go back to what MI6 wants. I thought Harry was gone at this episode. Oh, we'll talk about the president a little bit. But so a couple of the things that happened in the past. We find out what Lydia has been wanting this whole time, what her mission has been. And that is to bring this to do the Black Ops missions that the CIA really can't do in public. So she claimed, I'm going to say claimed because I don't know if I believe her or not, that the CIA or the EIC intercepted Russia's takeover of a Syrian camp, and that the trio to the Syrian camp, and that what Ryan needed to get from the NSA and what the trio needed to get from the NSA helped them with that mission. Did you guys believe Lydia?
Yes.
I want to believe her, because if I don't believe her and she's lying and she is bad, it's just going to keep getting more. Like, why are they even making it? I mean, unless they honestly just showed that so we could see how Ryan could believe Lydia and then keep getting deeper into this, that would be the only reason for them to get that to what?
No, I just completely disagree with you, because I feel like yes, she is a CIA operative, but at the same time, she literally made this whole story about Russians and suicide bombers and Syrian refugee camps, and then she said that whole thing that Leon, Diana, and Ryan killed that guy, but that was all fake. I feel like that has more of an impact than her lying, because we saw how it affected Ryan, Diana, and Leon.
I'm saying that would be the only way I would think she would be lying, is if she was trying to just get Ryan deeper in this hole. I'm saying it wouldn't make sense for her to be lying and for them to introduce that information to us if that was not true. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
unless the only reason for that was to get Ryan deeper into there. So I do think she's telling the truth, but only because why else would that have happened?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was like I said, because we see Lydia in the present as the head of the or the head of the task force that the FBI is doing. So I thought that was really interesting. The last thing I wanted to talk about was. The two things. So Shelby reacting to Leon leaving, I fell for another mark, which we talked about at the beginning of this season, because we were like, Shelby is just she's a reckless endangerment when it comes to her emotions.
Yeah.
Yep.
When it comes to
I agree. I don't want to agree
missions.
with you, but I agree with you.
I so agree.
And you're like, you could have been the mark. You could have been Leon's mark. You didn't even known because you're
Right.
so blinded by whatever feelings. Maybe she has some residual feelings of there for Caleb that are still missing. Blah blah blah. Whatever.
We all miss Caleb.
But we all miss Caleb. And then the other last thing was the room with the photos, which I thought was like I don't know about you guys, but I thought that they walked in to where Lydia was doing her where she was telling everybody. I thought that was the room. Like where she would give everybody their information. I thought they were walking into, a similar setup to what they have at the farm.
But then it wasn't.
But then it was not.
Yeah, no.
And
And I
that-
thought it was weird.
I'm like so confused by what is going on
Yeah.
here. Like I didn't see that coming. And
Yeah.
now I'm like, I don't know, maybe Diana has to do with it. I don't know.
Now I'm like, there's another group inside of the
Right?
farm again. I'm like, okay, great.
Yeah. So that's another third group that
Yeah.
we have to try to deal with.
And we literally know nothing about this group. We don't know if they're part of. I mean, they have to be. I don't know. I don't even know. I'm
Where
not even
is
gonna-
Miranda? She is such a strong female
She's
character.
with one of the twins.
I need her to come
Which
back.
one?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know which one
Still
it is.
Nima. Always Nima.
But that room reminded me a little bit of a lot of scenes that because I really loved CBS's The Good Wife. With Juliana Margulies, and it was all about lawyers and stuff like that, and I like binge watched it like forever. But this Sunday, actually, The Good Fight is coming out. It's going to be like a 10-episode thing. I'm actually doing the after show for that. For those that don't know, The Good Fight is the next chapter of The Good Wife story. It's a CBS All Access original series set in the world of The Good Wife. The Good Fight is from the creators of The Good Wife, Robert and Michelle King, who did Sex and the City, continue as showrunners. Christine Baranski reprises her role as Diane Lockhart. Love Christine Baranski. Diane is at the end of her career planning retirement, but loses everything in a Ponzi scheme and now has to rebuild her life. Kush Jumbo reprises her role as Luca Quinn. Luca is finding her footing after joining a new law firm. Rose Leslie joins the cast as Maya Rendell. Maya is just beginning her career as a lawyer when her father is accused of starting a Ponzi scheme that ruined Diane. Many of the guest stars Good Wife fans know and love will be returning, including Carrie Preston, Gary Cole, who plays Diane Lockhart's husband, and Matthew Perry. Just like The Good Wife, The Good Fight will not shy away from controversial issues of the day. New episodes will be released on CBS All Access Sundays beginning February 19th. Start your free trial of CBS All Access. Go to cbs.com/thegoodfight. I'm really excited about this show because they're picking up right at the inauguration of Donald Trump. Diane Lockhart is watching Donald Trump's inauguration, and then like she has this kind of
What?
like So
Wait, what?
The Good Fight is picking up like in the present day, so I
Shut
think it's
up.
gonna be a lot of fun.
That's really exciting. And
Yeah.
also, Rose Leslie is also from Game of Thrones. She played Jon Snow's love interest. So if you like Game of Thrones, definitely tune into that show because I loved her on Game of Thrones, and I'm
Yeah.
excited that she's in The Good Fight now.
And
wanna
Carrie
watch The Good
Preston
Wife.
is from what's that show on HBO with the vampires?
True Blood.
True Blood. Carrie Preston's from True Blood.
That's right, she is.
Yep, she's
Yep.
from True Blood. So a lot of great people on The Good Fight coming up. That's from The Good Wife. Like I said, my panel will be doing a show Monday night. So it'll be fun. So catch that out, and then you can catch all. So they'll release the episode on Monday night, the premiere episode, and then they'll release the next 9 episodes on CBS All Access. So you can catch those there. So let's move into the present. So we talked about the last episode, like, because I remember saying, where are they going? Because we watched the preview for the last week's this week's episode, and we were like, are they just walking out the front
Right?
door? And then then we find out that Alex does not trust what's going to happen to go outside.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
they already want to kill people inside, and now they got to go outside. Did you guys think it was a smart idea to have them keep circling this tunnel? Because they had to find this tunnel, and they have to keep circling this tunnel. But they weren't. I don't think they were smart about it because all of our main people were at the front of this pack. They didn't intersperse themselves to like keep watch of everybody.
Yeah.
So everybody's at the front, who's watching the back? Like I just didn't think that was a very smart way of handling that.
Yeah.
I agree, but I also think there weren't enough of them to like have backup if they all like spread out, because there are people in there that want to kill them.
Yes.
So it's
So
like
they have to stick together.
yeah, it's like when you're in a scary movie, like you never go down the dark hallway alone.
And you never split up.
Yes, but there's
Never
enough. There were enough of our side for there to be our side. There was enough of our team that we know to have been 2 at a time.
You think so?
I think
So
that
it'd be spread out throughout.
I think
the
that could have
whole-
been spread out. People look at Will, he's just a computer guy, but he's FBI. He trained with Alex in the first season.
Yeah.
He's not an idiot, and he can still fight people. You have Leon, Diana. We know was hurt, so those two were kind of together. And then you have Ryan, and then you have Harry. So
And
everybody
Sebastian
could
and
and
Alex.
Sebastian. So you had two by two. You know, people could have been spread out.
Yeah.
And you just like that you don't go alone or whatever.
I mean, I can see where you're coming from. I also think, just a little more of a plot hole, that somebody should have been with Will at all times. If they knew that Will was bait, as Harry had pointed out in the beginning when they were going through the tunnels, then somebody should have been with Will at all times.
But they
That's
were, because
true.
remember when they said hang on to Will, and I thought that Alex handed Will to Ryan.
Did she?
They weren't. They couldn't have been with him the whole time, because then guess what?
But he was at the
got
front.
kidnapped.
That's what I'm
Right.
saying. I'm saying, like, who let Will go? And how did that happen? Did Will run away?
Yeah, I want to know what happened to Will, because I didn't really. That's just kind of like out of nowhere.
Because
They're
Carly
like,
came
by
out
the
of
way.
nowhere. She didn't come out of nowhere.
Carly,
we
I
all
can't.
knew 2 or 3 episodes ago when I said something's up with Carly. I don't trust that. I don't
news.
trust her. And Carly pulls her gun on Harry, and like that was a crazy situation. But it didn't cause mass panic, which I thought was really weird either. Like it only caused a panic with our core people.
Well, see, this is what I liked about, once again, the past with the whole misdirection thing. In the present, Carly was the misdirection in this instance, where the lights went out. There was a whole like mass hysteria thing going on, which you wouldn't think would happen because most of them are CIA agents, but whatever.
Yeah.
And then that's when Carly comes up, and then Alex is gone, gun is gone, and then that's when Carly comes up and she's got Harry.
Do you think? Okay, I'm just going to bring this Carly thing up because somebody brought it up in the chat room about Diana and Matthew Keys, who's the director Keys. Do you think that? Because I think Mev said that they thought that somebody said that they thought that Diana was Matthew was director Keys' daughter. But what if Carly is director Keys' daughter, and then Diana just gets mixed up with them because they knew each other from the law firm?
I don't think so. I think that Carly was killed too fast in order to be Director Keys' daughter, because I feel like I would want to see them in a scene together in the present.
Right, but she says she was CIA, and he was CIA as well.
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
But because we never saw Carly, work with the CIA. Ever. For her to come out and say, I'm CIA, is crazy.
Yeah.
She was never a part of Lydia's group.
So do you think we'd see this? We're going to see her more in the past, or do you think they're just going to drop it?
I don't, that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Well, we haven't seen her in the past since, like,
we will start to see her
I
in the
don't
past.
know.
That's what I'm saying, because it's
We'll keep
confusing. She has to have some connection to the CIA. She has to be getting her direction from somebody
Yeah.
because she's not getting it from Lydia.
And
So
now
if
that
she's
they've-
getting it from somebody, she's probably getting it from Director Keys.
And especially now that they've told us as an audience, we're going to want to know more about that, because it's not like Carly's just going to drop off the planet. She's still on the show, so I'm sure they'll show her connection
Right.
soon, because we already
Hopefully.
know that there is a connection now.
I thought what was a red flag was when she had Harry at gunpoint and Sebastian came up and trying to
red
save
flag.
Harry, and she was like, I let Sebastian be who he wants to be.
I thought that was weird.
And I was like,
Harry's been trying the whole time.
right. I was like, what do you mean? That's a little weird. So he told you that he has gay feelings, and then you let him have sex with guys on the side? Like, and then
Right.
Sebastian wasn't like, oh, my wife thinks it's okay for me to like express my sexuality, and
Well-
I'm like, you didn't think that you were a mark at this point?
Right.
No, I think I mean, this goes back to when Sebastian said he talked to Carly. What I took from that, she was like, that's fine. We can still be together. We'll work through this. We'll go to church.
But that's a red flag. I don't know.
That is a red flag.
Thank you.
That's not letting him be who he wants to be. That's
Right.
that's manipulation.
Yeah.
Right.
And she wanted to stay with him for whatever ulterior motive
get
she had.
closer to them.
100%. But like, girl, you're not. No.
But Sebastian's dumb enough to fall for it.
I did think so. Okay, so back up to Carly because I know Carly came in at the wedding.
Yes.
So that means Carly was a plant at a wedding that they already knew that the recruits are going to be at.
Right.
So that means somebody knew that the recruits are going to be there. They planted Carly there, and they planted her to go after somebody that was super vulnerable. She pinpointed herself with Sebastian, and that was her end to this group of recruits.
But do we think it was Director Keyes that planted her there?
I think it was. Because Director Keyes, we haven't seen him. And for her, like I said, for her to say, I am a part of the CIA, and the only two groups that we've known that have been working for what they claim to be the CIA is Owen's group and Lydia's group.
But what if it was Miranda? What if Miranda's
Miranda's FBI.
But Miranda is also part of this other. I know. Miranda's also part of this other group that she's going behind the FBI's back. So it's like, what if she was the one who planted?
But Carly specifically said, I'm CIA.
Oh, okay.
So it can't be another group. There can't be like a third CIA group.
And the way that it seems like she's AIC as in with Lydia because she said, oh, you call it AIC, it's CIA. And why would they do that to us as an audience if she's actually something else? They wouldn't do that.
But there is no AIC. That's what Lydia said.
Yeah, but whatever Lydia's doing, she's I don't know.
I know.
I'm just saying that I think that Carly is a part of that third group. Maybe Carly was the person who created that room. Maybe she was the one that was surveilling everybody.
No, because she's dead.
This is in the past.
Oh, that's
She's
right.
not dead yet.
I keep forgetting.
I know it's confusing.
I know because they killed them off so fast, and I'm like, well, they wouldn't kill somebody off.
So sorry we missed you. Hold on. So sorry we missed you guys on Monday. Tim and I were on vacation, but we saw this musical last week called Great Comet of 1812, and in the playbill, I don't have it on me, but they have this tree. It's like a family tree. It kind of links everybody together. I think we need that. We need a big board.
We do need a big board.
That links everybody together so we can say who's who, what do they do.
Nima and Raina
just for me. I just need I need photographs of just those two.
We need all the help we can get.
So there's a lot of confusing things, but I do think that that's going to come up to a point because Miranda's like off. She's kind of out of whack right now.
And then really quick, just to make it a little bit more confusing, if Lydia is part of AIC, I mean, if she's saying that there's no AIC, and she is part of one of the good guys this entire time, what the hell happened to Owen? Because this entire time we've been saying Owen did something to protect Lydia, and that's what ended him up in federal prison.
Yeah,
and
we need to get to that point. We need to get to how Owen got in prison.
Maybe I take back my statement earlier when I said this episode left me with more answers than questions because now I just have more questions than answers.
I just want to know.
The more we talk about it, the more I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah, that's super crazy. And then at the end of the present, we find out that Lydia is in charge of the FBI stakeout. So has Lydia been FBI this whole time?
Right? Like what? Like why is she FBI now?
Right. Or a CIA work. That's what was confusing because they were like, "Who's in?" She's in. Clearly, these guys wearing FBI, and then Alex walks out. She's like, "Who's in charge?" And Lydia's like, "I am." And I'm like, "So which intelligence agency do you work for?" Or
so
she could be Homeland. She could be what is it? Director. She could be like working for the Director of National Intelligence, which oversees like both the FBI and the CIA. Or she could be Homeland Security. But I want to know who Lydia is working for. She's not working for the CIA.
Well, I want to know because this entire time Lydia's been saying. The last time we saw Lydia was when she like disappeared with the drives after she handcuffed Alex.
Yeah.
So now Alex is like, well, where the hell are the drives? And she's like, I hid them, but I think somebody found them. And I'm like, well, what?
You think somebody found them? Right.
Why are you? What did you do? I can't.
Right. Who could? Okay. Mev said, "My brain hurt. My brain."
Yeah,
I mean, it's very
same.
confusing. Okay. So and then last thing, Diana is still inside, according to Lydia. It seems like Lydia is trying to pinpoint Diana as the number one suspect in this whole thing right now, even after all the shady phone calls they had in the past, and. at the same time, all this is going on. Shelby is still trying to work with President Haas on whatever strike is going to happen. They got the generals going on. They're still trying to do it. Like, what is happening outside?
Well, there is no strike anymore because at the end of the episode...
Not the strike, right.
No, at the end of the episode, the FBI encountered the entire group. So they made it out of the tunnels, and now I think that they're going to start filtering people. They're probably going to, like, vet everybody who's in that group.
Yeah, well, I mean, they
That's
need
what
Will
I
Olsen for that.
Yeah, well, he's gone.
Which takes us to Monday night's predictions for Monday night.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
I'd just like to point out that talking through this whole episode literally made me sweat.
You are
I'm
sweating.
literally sweating right now because
Sweaty.
I do not know what is happening anymore.
I know.
And I'm usually pretty good.
You are. But like as we were going through the episode, like the more I was like, oh no, I don't know. I don't know. And then every time you'd ask a question, I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen.
It is, I will say, it is as confusing as the last 24 days of this Trump presidency.
Yep.
Agree.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused right now.
Same.
Misdirection. That's what's happening right now. Okay, so Monday night, next episode is Epic Shelter. What do you think is going to happen? Who do you think that, because we saw the preview, who do you think that Alex says, I knew it was you the whole time?
Oh, God. Well, like,
I feel like Alex is playing a big game of Clue.
Harry.
You think Harry?
I'm gonna say Harry because I don't think it's Diana. They're making her too suspicious at this point. But no, they wouldn't do it next episode. They wait for the season finale. I don't know.
Somebody said this is more confusing than Pretty Little Liars.
It
yes.
is.
Actually,
Amen,
it reminds me of, I don't know if you guys watch Gossip Girl, but Gossip Girl was really, I love Gossip Girl. Gossip Girl was a little confusing too.
When was Gossip Girl confusing?
Well, you know, when it was like, what's her name? Michelle Trachtenberg's character, and then it was like, you know, when they were trying to figure out who Gossip Girl was, but then like everybody was Gossip Girl, and then it wasn't, you know.
Oh, that's true.
See, and but Pretty Little Liars is like Gossip Girl, like light. So
We should.
Well, okay.
maybe not say that for
okay.
the Pretty Little Liars fans.
Yeah.
Just take over.
So wait, maybe okay. So this is what I think. I think that Miranda is involved with Diana, and Diana was the one who took Will. And in the last episode, they're all going to find out that Miranda's part of this in some kind of way.
So you think it's Harry, you think it's Miranda, but Miranda is being held hostage by one of the twins.
Last time.
Yeah, but
With
she
the
could
phone
have gotten
call.
away. It could have been a. I don't know.
What is she, a Scooby-Doo character?
Be quiet. I don't know.
What do you think,
She got away.
Drexel?
You know,
Yeah, what do you think?
I think that I go back to what I said about Director Keyes. I think that Director Keyes is pulling the strings about this whole thing. But this will be the second show where the head of the CIA or the head of another, because on Designated Survivor, the head of the FBI is the one who's being charged with the things that are happening there. What is going on with these rogue directors?
Right?
They're unsatisfied with
Man.
the system.
ABC.
Which is like a crossover into what's happening right now, actually live in the actual United States in real time right now.
Yep.
I don't know what's going on. So yeah, we definitely want to know what you guys think of what's going to happen over the next few episodes, especially on Monday night, because we'll be back on Monday night at 11 p.m. with Epic Shelter. So that'll be episode 13.
Apparently, it's supposed to be the climax, so we're excited.
Yeah, so like I said, actually Sunday night, Tim and I are going to be on Broadway Breakdown covering Rent. So check that out on Popcorn Talk. Monday night, I will be on Breaking In, where James Lau will interview me, which should be a lot of fun. Yep. And then Political Culture, my show will be back on Tuesday.
Yes. I am Timothy Mike. You can follow me on all social media platforms at I am Timothy Mike. Thursday nights at 9 o'clock, I will be on the Grays panel. And to my left.
Hey guys, I'm Renee Ariel. You can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at Renee Ariel. Tomorrow is, oh my gosh, it's tonight. I'll be on Disney Movie News at 9 p.m. live on Popcorn Talk.
Oh, and also don't forget to check out CBS's Doubt starts tonight. I will be on the panel for the Doubt after show as well. So I will see you then. Make sure to follow us at AfterBuzz TV using the hashtag ABTV Quantico, and we'll see you on Monday night.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.